down to the wire. Hey everyone, Templar74 here with another episode of Poke Talk, and today's episode of Poke Talk is just going to be a general theory discussion / prediction kind of video in where I give my thoughts about Sun and Moon anime for the rest of 2019. And basically I wanted to do this video because we've just come off the Pony Island arc in the Sun and Moon anime, arguably one of the better arcs in Sun and Moon, and just coming off a phenomenal episode in that arc, the Mallow episode. Before I get into the whole what I predict for the rest of 2019, I just want to say this. The Mallow episode was fantastic. It was right in the feels, and if it's not my favorite Pokemon episode of all time, it's definitely up there in the top 5. This episode, or that episode rather, was just fantastic. It was extremely well done, and it's the first time in a long time that I can genuinely say, after watching the episode, I had tears rolling down my face. It was that good, that touching, and they just really did so much right with that episode. It was phenomenal. And Pony Island, as far as a whole arc, it was really good too. So with that aside, and with Pony Island out of the way, that kind of leads me into my discussion for the rest of 2019. So yeah, 2019 is interesting because more than likely we're going to get Gen 8 announced here in the next couple of weeks. Probably, if not late February, it's going to be early March more than likely. We'll probably end up getting the announcement for Gen 8, and it'll most likely end up being released in the holiday season of 2019 because for the most part, Pokemon usually only runs about 3 years and then they put out a new game. So Sun and Moon anime is most likely coming to a close, and for the most part, with the exception of the original series, Diamond and Pearl, and you can correct me if I'm mistaken on this in the comment section, Black and White, usually Pokemon animes usually run about 140 to 150 episodes, somewhere in that range. About 147 is the average. And so with that being said, we just went through episode 1-9 of Sun and Moon here, and we've also gotten episodes 110, 111, and 112 already announced, so we know what those episodes are going to be. So at best, we've got maybe 35 episodes left of Sun and Moon before it all comes to a close, and we've got a lot here. We have Meltan. After the Pony Island arc, we got hinted about Lily, Gladion, and Moan. So Lily and Gladion's dad. We have the League, of course. And we also have 6 main characters here that we have to wrap up and give conclusions to in the span of 35 episodes. And this is something that Pokemon's always had a problem with, is pacing. It starts out really good at this beginning, and then it kind of flattens out as time goes on, or it's just flat at the beginning and it picks up and then we get everything at the end. And with that being said, that's kind of what happened with XY, and Z, is that it started out slow and then at the very end they were cramming everything in and it got so serious so quick and everything was real toned towards the plot right there towards the end. And I don't see Sun and Moon going down that route. But with so much here, it begs the question, what could we, or how could they possibly finish all this up? And so that's where this discussion is leaning into. So Meltan, I want to conquer that first because the episode after next week's, which is the Poke Golf episode, which is 110, episodes 111 and 112 are confirmed to be the Meltan episodes. And I had said on Twitter when I was asked about it that I thought Meltan arc was probably going to run about 2 to 5 episodes. And 5 episodes, is kind of getting up there, I think, for Meltan. But we already are confirmed now that we've got 2 episodes for Meltan, so I'm thinking 2 to 5 for that. But that still leaves us 32 episodes for the rest of this stuff, and like I said, we've just got a lot to cover. So I think after we see Meltan, I think we're probably going to end up seeing a little bit with Moan and Lily and Gladion's dad. I do think that's going to be the next arc after Meltan, only because they hinted it so much there on Pony Island there, especially after the Kapurihi episode or the Tapu Fini episode. in the English dub. After that episode, they really hinted that they're really going to go somewhere with the Moan and the Lily and Gladian thing. So I think they put too much into that to not go ahead and do it. And I'm going to say if they do that, that's probably maybe going to be another 5 to 10 episodes, probably. 5 maybe on the lower end. I think 10 would be a little bit over-optimistic for that. But I do think they're going to give it at least 5 episodes for that, because usually the Lily stuff, they do give about 4 or 5 episodes for that. For all the major stuff, you know, the heavy Lily focus, there's at least 5 episodes usually. So I think it's a safe bet that we're probably going to get 5 episodes for that. So that being said, that's already 7 of those 35 episodes out of the way. And then, of course, we've got the main elephant in the room, the League. And I could actually foresee the Alola League taking up a good chunk, maybe even a third of the amount of episodes we have left. I do think the League will probably end up going about 8 to 10 episodes. And I think we're probably going to end up getting the League here in the summer. I think the League will probably begin maybe late June, and we're probably going to go through late June into July, because we take a week off for the new movie, which will be Mewtwo Strikes Back, which that'll be a whole nother discussion in itself. I'm planning on talking about that because that does look pretty great. So we're probably going to get a week off for that. So I think the League will probably and most likely will be announced, or we will start getting into the League right before the Mewtwo movie comes out. And then as soon as that week break is off for Mewtwo, I think we're going to come back and we're going to get real heavy into the League. And I think the League will take all of at least 8 weeks. I think it may even take up 10. And then this is the big part I had about Sun and Moon, because people were speculating that they were going to go nuts over Meltan and Lily and Gladian's dad. We have a major elephant in the room here, and this was one of my criticisms for Sun and Moon, and it still is a criticism, don't get me wrong. We have a lot of main characters in Sun and Moon, more than ever before. In XY, and Z, sure, we had 4, 5 characters, if you want to count Zygarde here, that we had to finish up and wrap up here. And that was a lot. That was a lot to touch up on, to be honest with you. But now we have 6 main characters that we have to give conclusions to. So that's going to in itself be at least 6 episodes, maybe even more. It could be up to 12 episodes if they wanted to give each of these characters 2 episodes to send them off, which I think really to do all these characters justice, they would need at least 2 episodes. So again, that's taking off another 12 episodes. And if you think about it, you take 12 episodes for them, you take 10 episodes for, say, the League here, that's 22 of 35 episodes here. And then, of course, you have about prediction, maybe about 2 to 5 episodes for Moan. And then you, of course, have Meltan, which could be anywhere from 2 to 5. It's at least going to be 2. That's pretty much your 35 right there. And something else here that they may end up touching on, I really hope they do mention it at least once, because we have yet to see him, is Guzma. We've seen everybody in Team Skull but Guzma, and I really, this is a side rant here, I'm really irritated that we have not seen Guzma up to this point. Guzma was one of my favorite characters in the Sun and Moon franchise, and the fact that we could potentially go an entire anime without even seeing him, I think that does that character major injustice, major disjustice. And wait, is disjustice even a word? Anyway, that topic aside, I think it's just a waste to not put Guzma in the anime, but with everything here they still have to do, and maybe being generous, 35 to 40 episodes to do it if they run on a little bit more, because with with Black and White, there was a bit of a production delay, and that's why Diamond and Pearl went on like 20 more episodes, was because of that production delay. Unless that happens with Gen 8, which it's possible because it's on a new console base instead of a handheld. Even with that aside, 35, if you're generous, you may get 40 episodes if there's production problems. And there's a lot here to conquer in 40 episodes, and I just think that the League and the 6 main characters here that they gotta wrap up here is gonna take up more than half of that. So I really hope that Sun and Moon, if this is the route they're going, if my predictions are pretty much accurate on this, if they do go these routes here, I'm really nervous on how they're going to time this out for the rest of the year, because it's just, they've got a lot to cover here and not a lot of time to do it. And that's why I was not too particularly comforted when we got the golf episode announced for next week. Although I will admit, it does look pretty funny and I do look forward to watching it. Sun and Moon just has so much ground to cover, they really can't take too much more time for these quote-unquote filler episodes, if that's what this turns out to be. It's just, they've got so much ground to cover here and such a limited time to do it, that this is starting to get crunch time here, and that's pretty much what I had to say about it. So yeah, on that topic, and with that aside, those are just kind of my brief thoughts on how the rest of 2019 could look for the Sun and Moon anime. Like I said, at most 35 to 40 episodes if we're generous with them. If the new production game comes out on time, it's going to be 35 episodes, maybe 40 at the most, because that would be the very end of 2019. And they have a lot of ground to cover here. And that's just basically how I see the year being outlined out, in my opinion. So, at risk of further rambling, and with all of that being said, in the comments section down below, let me know what you guys think. What are your guys' predictions for the rest of Sun and Moon? Do you guys think I'm pretty accurate? Do you have some predictions of your own? Is there something that you want to see included that you, in your opinion, has to be included before the series ends? Just let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments section down below, because as always, I enjoy hearing from you. Alright everyone, as always, Templar74 signing off. Have a great day everybody, and I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.